Shaw, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business, and this is season 4 of Women Live TV, content created by women for women. That's right, everyone, you heard me, season 4 of Women Live TV.
I basically keep the IRS off your ASS so you can live tax-free and happy.
I am the owner of the Dazzle Diva collection, where I get the opportunity to dazzle women and men for less.
Everything we have learned is from my grandmother.
I'm a veteran who was raised by another veteran.
Southern girl, just trying to do something different, do something better for myself and my family.
We are the only African American or woman-owned business that does what we do.
You can find us on Amazon Prime, Amazon TV, all YouTube channels, as well as social media. Welcome to another season of Women Live TV. I am Ariel Shaw, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business, and we are in season 4. That's right, everyone, you heard me, season 4 of Women Live TV. And we have the distinct pleasure of having Mica Johnson with us today. Mica is with Mica Johnson State Farm Agency. Mica, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I am so thrilled to have you today. You've been a member of Southern Crescent Women in Business how long?
Almost a year now.
It hasn't even been a year. So let me tell you, Mica, when you started, you put both feet in coming into the organization. You have already done a solo cover, a national cover, yes. And now you're doing Women Live TV, and you have already done Women Wealth and Entrepreneurship podcasts. Most people don't start off that strong. Tell us a little bit about who is Mica Johnson.
Well, I'm just a Southern girl from Louisiana that is just trying to do something different, do something better for myself and my family, and to create things that, wouldn't be possible for others. So just trying to make myself known out there and be helpful to other people out there.
Absolutely, and I applaud you for that. Tell us a little bit about what it was like growing up in Louisiana.
I love everything about Louisiana. It's like a family-oriented, the town I grew up in, family-oriented. My grandfather was a sharecropper, so farmer, so learning the basics. So everybody was family. When you drive down the street, you speak to everybody. So it's nobody that you know.
That hometown feel.
Yes.
I love that. Now, do you think that helped prepare you for this metropolitan city of Atlanta, Georgia?
I think it did. I think it definitely prepared me for it, because it makes you feel like everybody is family. So you just love people.
Absolutely. So tell us, Mica Johnson State Farm Agency, when did you start? What do you have going on in that space?
Well, I started in November of 2021, and we service all insurance. So anything insurance, we service it. And I'm here because of my daughter and my family. So basically wanting to help other people understand about insurance, because my daughter was in a major car accident on 285 and broke both arms and both legs. And from then on, I realized that we don't understand, as people driving every day, how important insurance is, whether it's home, auto, life insurance, medical insurance, but it's very important to have.
And your daughter, she's okay now?
Yes, thank God, she is okay.
So tell me, when you decided, so everybody starts businesses, for different reasons. You had a personal connection for insurance. Can you talk a little bit about what prompted you, what challenges you were having with your daughter?
Well, I realized that you need to make sure you're covered 100%. So everybody's coverage needs are different. And I realized at that time that my insurance agent didn't take the time to see what I needed, and I didn't take the time to educate myself as well. So I wanted to make sure that every customer, every person that I came in contact with was educated on all the things about insurance. I also had a niece that died, and she wasn't covered properly, because who thinks that a 9-year-old will pass away? So just making sure that you're covered, we never think that we need life insurance for a 9-year-old, but it's important for all insurance agents, all in ages, to have the proper coverage.
So if I'm a mother, you know, we're a part of a really, really big family. What I find, and we're an African American family, so I'm not going to discard that. What I find sometimes is within the African American community, we don't talk about insurance enough.
Right.
Do you, one, have an idea as to why that is, and what are you doing differently?
Well, I think that we don't talk about it because we don't want to think about death. We don't want to think about the end, but we got to understand that life insurance is for life. So we're thinking about, you know, the end result, but we got to understand that it's because, you know, we want to make sure that we are prepared for those times because it's going to happen. You know, we don't know the day or the time, so it's going to happen eventually. And I think what I'm doing about it is just making sure I tell my story to other people so they can understand the importance of it and to understand why they need it and to make sure they have the, you know, the necessary things that they need for them and their family.
So what I did hear you say is it's not as if you guys weren't insured. It's where you didn't have enough coverage. What does that mean?
Well, basically what that means is, so for example, like with my daughter's car accident, we had all the, you know, accidental death insurance, you know, accidental dismemberment because she broke both legs and both arms.
Wow.
We were able to get that coverage. But when I'm thinking about the car itself, so we think in Georgia, it's just state limits, 25, 50, 25, you got the general, I'm covered, I'm good to go. But what about when it's a $50 or $1 million bill at the hospital? Who's going to cover that? You know, nobody's going to cover that for you. So you got to have the right coverage that you know, okay, once I pay this amount, what can I afford to pay out of my pocket, and what else do I need to be covered for?
You know, I was listening to one of our elected officials within the state, and they mentioned that Georgia has some of the highest premiums within the entire country. What do you, and I know you're licensed in multiple states.
Correct.
First of all, do you know why it is that way? And talk a little bit about also those states that you also cover.
Well, I do know. So in Georgia, it's a lot of accidents. So a lot of people that have a lot of accidents and a lot of claims and all those type of things. So those type of things cause the insurance premiums to go up, to increase. So that's a lot of the reason and why we're in other states, like I cover Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Some of those don't have as much traffic as Atlanta. So, and I know Georgia is a big state, but sometimes it's based on, so here right in Atlanta might be more than Conyers, for example. So it depends on like what's happening, the risk, and all those different things that take a part in increase in premiums. So of course, you know, it's a busy. How long does it take you? 10 minutes to get 1 mile down the street.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why.
And you cover how many states? 5?
Yes, 5.
And that's a pretty aggressive approach as well. More than what I've seen with some other agents. Why did you decide? You know, you've only been, what is it, 2024 to be what, two years?
Yes, 2 years now. We're going into 3.
Yeah, so you started covering a good amount of states. Do you have plans to expand that?
Yeah, I would like to add Florida. So
Okay.
that's my next step.
That
is to
makes
add
sense.
Florida.
And so why such an aggressive approach?
Because, you know, it's more people than it is agents. So that way I can reach different people that maybe another agent can't reach. So that way I can be able to get out why it's important to have your proper coverage.
Yeah.
Because it's more than just, you know, building your business. You know, that's one part, but it's
Right.
also making sure they understand why it's important to them and their family.
Absolutely. So if you were talking to a family who was considering having insurance, they're not properly insured, or they don't have insurance at all, what are you telling them?
Well, basically, I'm having like a life needs analysis with them. So just like you go to the doctor for a checkup, you need to go see your insurance agent for a checkup. So just basically talking about what does their financials look like? You know, how much is the vehicles? You know, what does that look like in your life? Can you afford to, if you were to get in a car accident, can you afford to pay for it yourself? Because some people do self-insure. So just making sure, what does that look like? If somebody passed away in your family and you had a mortgage, what would that look like? Would you want that to be paid off when that person died, or can you afford to continue to pay that?
So if we're not having these conversations with our insurance agents and they're not having it with us, we're not being properly served.
Exactly.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
You know, and I think what sometimes we're like, oh, well, we did well enough by just getting a policy, but that's not good enough.
It's not good enough.
We need to have a tailored approach to what fits our lives.
Exactly.
And at the Mica Johnson State Farm Agency,
You're going to get properly covered.
absolutely. I love that. Do you plan on opening other locations?
Yes, I hopefully in the future I will be able to be one of those multi-office agents.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
And, you know, you have something else cooking as well.
Yes, I do.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so I'm planning for May of 2024 of this year to open up a property casualty and, life insurance school, so that way
Wow.
people can learn, how to get their licenses and stuff. So
That's amazing. So not only do you have an agency, you're actually creating a school.
yes.
I think that's amazing. Now, is it only going to be open for State Farm? Is it going to be open for anyone who wants to get a
Anyone.
license?
Yes, anybody that wants to
That's
get a
really
license.
good. And where is that going to be located?
It's going to be located tentatively right now in Conyers, Georgia.
Okay, awesome. And so what else do we have going on with Mica?
So Mica is just out there trying to build one brick at a time, just waiting to see where God takes her. Just trying to continue to be humble and move forward. I have some things planning, but I'm just continuing to move one step at a time.
Absolutely. And I know when you were a guest on our podcast, you talked a little bit about strategy. How important is strategy when you're building that one brick at a time?
It's very important because we see so many times, we see other people doing the things we want to do, and we want to jump head on, but we got to understand we have to learn how to crawl first
Right.
before we walk. And I always think about, Martin Luther King when I think about some of the things that I continue to try to keep growing. And I think about some of the things that he said, if you can't do it one way, you do it another way. But you just continue to, one step at a time, and you got to plan and you got to be organized. So your race doesn't look like anybody else's race, but definitely don't stop running. And if you can't run, like you say, you better walk. If you can't walk, crawl, but by any means get there.
Absolutely.
So just continuing to plan out what every step that is that you want to take to build your business. Think about the key important things that you want to see in your business that you might not see, but
Right.
just continue to build it.
And Mica, how important and does your family play a role into your everyday business? How do you integrate them? Is it a balance? Talk a little bit about that.
So family is everything. So a lot of the times your family is your motivation. So that's my motivation. So my daughter just had my first grandchild.
Oh, congratulations.
Biological, but I am. Thank you. So she's 9 months now, and she's pregnant again. So we're going to have two, her and her husband. So just my family is important because I want to make sure that they see something in me to see that they can, anything they put their mind to, they can achieve. And one thing I always tell my daughter is we do what we have to do what we want to do.
Right.
So we have to continue to, build it up. But my family, my husband is always very supportive of me. So my mom, and I just want to do something different, coming from Louisiana, coming from a small town, coming from a farmer, coming from that background, just want to make sure that I don't let them down because a farmer is an entrepreneur. So just continuing to, grow that and continue.
They were some of the first entrepreneurs.
Correct, yes.
Let's be very clear,
Yes.
especially as African Americans in this country. That's what they did.
Yes. So I just want to make my grandfather, and he's no longer here, but he was born in 1911, and I just want to make him proud of me, and I'm sure somewhere he's looking down, but just want to make the people that invested in me into my life,
Absolutely.
make them proud.
Well, I am sure you're already doing that, Mica. I mean, don't you already feel like you are already doing that?
I feel like I guess I'm surprised at where I am today. Do I feel like I've done everything that I can? No, I still feel like there's more that I can accomplish and
Absolutely.
do. But by no means necessarily I'm thankful for everything that I have and have done, because everybody don't have that opportunity. So I think that they're very proud of me, but I want to make sure that they see that I'm thankful for what they instilled in me as well.
And their
because that's-
sacrifices.
Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting because we talk a lot about legacy, and I just heard, you know, you brought up Martin Luther King, and recently they just lost a brother, and I listened to the press conference, and it was interesting because I've never heard anybody say this. When you talk about legacy, someone asked the question, and they said, well, you know, I was born into legacy. So it's just important for me to ensure that I'm carrying it out. Do you feel like you were born into legacy, or are you creating a legacy?
I think it's both. I think I was born into legacy, but I also think I'm creating something different in a legacy as well, because as time goes on, things change.
Yeah.
So we have to pick it up and move forward. So I think that he started it, and we have to continue.
Right.
So
And he being
my grandfather.
your
too.
grandfather.
Yes. My grandfather.
Listen, I love this. So, you know, I love the fact that you're, you know, including, you know, those that, you know, we stand on the shoulders of those that came before us. I think that's so important that we continue to remember that. How else are you going to implement and ensure his legacy doesn't end?
By making sure I continue to model the things that I was taught. So always think of others first. You know, of course, we're going to put God first and put ourselves first, you know, in our family, but we got to think about others, and don't always continue to always just see our side. Always
Right.
look at both sides, because our side is one side and it's just going by our feelings. So we got to think about everything that affects everybody. So I think one of the most important things that my
Or am
grandfather...
I hearing you say be kind?
Yes, so we gotta be kind. Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Always. And, you know, the motto, love others, love God, love others. Make a
Absolutely.
difference.
Love them when it's even hard to love them.
Yes, exactly. Really true.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I think in this space where we are in this country, in this world, we can certainly use a lot more love.
Definitely.
So, Mica, I do want to give you an opportunity to share anything else you feel like you want to let the audience know about what's coming up, about anything.
I would just like to share with the audience that just to make sure that when you think about insurance, just don't think about it's something that you have to have. You know, think about it's protecting your family. So think about that always. And one thing, just always love yourself and love others and try to make a difference.
Oh, Mica, you are so kind. Listen, you know, just as a sidebar, I had a birthday recently, and Mica gave me a box. I'm still pulling stuff out of that box. And I have yet to use my gift card for my massage, but that's because I'm busy.
Okay, you got to take time for you.
I know. But, you know, it's rare that you meet people that have a genuine, you know, heart. And I feel like you have that. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Do people say that
Sometimes
to you
people do,
often?
but I remember, like, growing up, I asked my mom, why did she name me what she did? Because
And say
they
your
call me-
full name.
It's Mihal Nichelle. Mm-hmm. So Mihal means one that's like God. So that's why I always try to make sure I model that. I mean, I'm by no means perfect.
Right.
But I just try to make sure I model that.
Absolutely. Now, tell everybody, how can they reach you?
You can reach me on Instagram at I am Mica Nichelle Johnson or Covered by MJ.
And
Also Facebook. You can also reach me on Facebook at Mica Johnson or Mica N. Johnson State Farm Agency. And also I'm located in Conyers, Georgia at 1410 Klondike Drive, Southwest, Suite A, Conyers, Georgia.
Mica, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me too.
Thank you. And guys, this has been another episode of Women Live TV. I am your host, Ariel Shaw, founder and president of Southern Crescent Women in Business. Thank you.
magazine release party today at Pure Zen, that's in McDonald's. In addition to that, she's gonna launch her personal brand.
Sylvia, you look flawless on your cover, honey. I love it. It is definitely delicious.
We're here to celebrate the amazing, great Sylvia the Advocate.
I want to congratulate her for her magazine cover for Southern Crescent Women in Business magazine reveal.
We are having a good time here at Sylvia's magazine launch party.
I am the woman that I am today by watching her. So here's to you, sis.
Oh, I think she looks fabulous in it. That particular dress had to be very fitted in order for it to look right. It would not have draped properly if it hadn't.
I did her makeup for a magazine cover and a photo shoot, so I'm very excited to see the reveal.
We are just so appreciative to her and her advocacy work for caregivers all over the world.
I am so excited and happy for Sylvia. I've been knowing her for several years. I'm just here to celebrate her and her journey and everything that she's doing tonight.
We have been in this organization for several years, and I just love her. I love her energy, and I also love the passion that she has for what she does.
I just want to tell her congratulations and may she excel in strength and to do whatever she's doing, and may God continue to bless and keep her.
Extreme Fun on Wheels Atlanta is a unique and exciting entertainment experience that offers a variety of activities for all ages. They provide an innovative approach to traditional party events by bringing the fun right to your doorstep. Extreme Fun on Wheels offers a range of services, including laser tag, video game trucks, tailgating, party bus, and much more. Their team highly experienced in creating memorable experiences for all types of events, including birthday parties, corporate events, and team building activities. With their state-of-the-art equipment and experienced team, they provide an unparalleled level of fun and excitement that will leave their guests talking about their experience long after the event is over. Whether you're looking for something unique for your child's birthday party or a fun-filled activity for your office retreat, Extreme Fun on Wheels Atlanta has got you covered. They are committed to providing exceptional service and delivering unforgettable experiences that will leave everyone wanting more.
Are you worried about tax time? Are you concerned you're not getting or keeping what's rightfully yours? You work hard for your money, whether you're an employee or you run your own business. So it's vital to make sure your money works hard for you. That's why, when it comes to tax time, you need the services of a qualified accountant who can make sure the tax balance will go in your favor. Our staff are not only qualified to deal with even the most complex tax situations, they are also competent and professional and doggedly determined to ensure you receive everything you're entitled to, down to the last penny. So when it comes to tax time, you don't have to go it alone against the tax man, because when we're on your side, you can be sure your financial affairs are in good hands. For complete peace of mind at tax time, contact us today